My next guest is a Bellator ring card girl. She's a Monster Energy girl and model. I'm so happy to be joined today by Louise McKie here on the program. Louise, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
No, thank you for joining me. I want to go all the way back to the beginning here. Obviously, you've done a lot of work with Bellator over the years. What
Yeah.
initially got you interested in combat sports? Because I'm sure even before you joined Bellator, you were at least, I'm sure, familiar with the sport.
Kind of like the MMA world and the sport itself was always something I grew up with. It was always on the TV. It was always a sport kind of family watched together. And then obviously I started within the promotion of Bellator, which happened by complete luck. And I think just from there, I fell in love with the sport even more. Obviously, fight night's great, but it's kind of the run up to that. You see the dedication, you see the grueling regime all the fighters go through. And I think that's kind of what made me really passionate about the sport, is kind of seeing the behind the scenes and what goes into everything from production to fight life in general.
You mentioned it was luck getting on with Bellator. What was the story with you linking up with them and being their ring card girl?
So I was just your average girl from Newcastle, UK. I used to sell cars actually. That was my profession before I started out here. I was always kind of in the sales industry. And then Bellator came to Newcastle. I got headhunted for that show. I wasn't kind of sure. Obviously, it was a big deal, but I wasn't sure if it was just a one-off or it was going to be a long-term thing for me. I thought it was just like kind of a one-off night in Newcastle, my hometown. But yeah, the production loved me. I had a really great night, interacted really well with the fans. They were all fantastic. And then from then, I've never looked back. I've been here nearly about 4 years now.
And I mentioned off the top, you're a model as well. How did the experience that first time going out there doing the ring card girl walk, so to speak, compared to some of the other modeling things you've done? Were you more nervous, or how were you feeling that first time you went out there?
I would love to tell you if I could remember, but I think because I was in such a bubble on the night, I really can't remember my first show in Newcastle. I remember having a great time, but I can't remember like exact details. I think because I was so maybe a little bit anxious about it and it was something new for me, and I can't really remember the ins and outs of what happened that night. I think the excitement just took over. But yeah, in comparison, people think I'm a little bit crazy because I can go into a modeling job and there'll be, I don't know, 10 people on production, and or I can walk out in front of maybe say Japan Rise and show 50,000 people, and I would rather walk out in front of 50,000 people than 10 people.
Right. Of course, I was going to mention that. I did notice you were part of the Ryzen card, which is, historic. I think it's a milestone for any fighter to compete on that card. What was that whole experience like? Because I know the Japanese fans are obviously, a lot different than your typical North American or even UK crowds.
Yeah, I mean, completely different culture and completely different fans. I've honestly never met a bunch of people so passionate and interested and knowledgeable about the sport. It's my second time now in Japan. Ryzen and Bellator collaboration on New Year being the last time. But yeah, it's just simply incredible. It's one of the best places I've ever been. Like I say, the fans and the crowd and the production is just on a whole new different level to what it is in the States and kind of within Europe. On one hand, you've got kind of, say if we compare to the Irish crowd and that culture, it's all very lively and enthusiastic. Everyone gets stuck in, it's loud. But then if you head over to Japan, it's very, very quiet in the arena. It's something I've never experienced before. You can literally hear the opposite cornering. But the fans are just so passionate. It's silent because they're kind of so invested in what's happening, and they're so concentrated that they don't really make much noise until like in between rounds or at the end of the fight when you get the result. So it's an incredible experience. It's something very different, but I'm very grateful to being able to witness that.
You've been all over the place. I know you were also in Thailand as well. Tell me about that. That's another sort of bucket list for a lot of people to be able to go over there, see the training, all that. How was that experience?
Well, I'm actually still here at the moment.
Oh,
I
cool.
extend, so I'm still in Thailand. I'm on a very big time difference. But yeah, it's just incredible. It's something I've wanted to do for about 4 years. I've always kind of looked out, and fitness has always been a huge passion, and obviously getting involved in mixed martial arts, it's also been something I've wanted to explore. So for about 4 years now, I've wanted to come over, and with COVID and a busy schedule, it has been difficult, but after the Japan show, it was just perfect time. And so I headed across here, and I've been here for, I think this is my 5th week now. I'm training at AKA, one of the world's most renowned Muay Thai gyms over here in Thailand, Phuket. And it's just been incredible. It's been really, really good experience.
Yeah, and Mike Swick actually runs that, former UFC fighter, someone that I think people are familiar with. He was on season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter. I hear it's just like a world-class facility, and it's got like everything you need in one spot. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's incredible. And Mike's around quite often, actually. He's actually the guy I was put in contact with to come over here, and he has made the experience very, very special. But yeah, the way he's built AKA and the gym itself, it's kind of not just a gym. It's like, I know it's very cliche, it's like a family, but the people here are just such good people, from obviously the people who come out to train to the locals. It's all very respectful. Everyone's been very kind. It's just a really, really nice community, and it's a really, really nice atmosphere at the gym. Obviously, you've got your different classes. You've got your Muay Thai, you've got your Jiu-Jitsu, and then you've also got stuff like your conditioning, your yoga, the ice baths are there. There's a cafe. It's just got everything you need. It really is an incredible facility.
Any plans on competing yourself, or is it just, learning how to train and all that?
I mean, I would never say never, but I don't think any time in the near future. I need to polish up on a few more skills first.
Yeah. By the way, what time am I getting you? I want to know. I hope I'm not getting you too early or too late. What time is it over there?
I got up at 4 a.m. this morning, but it's 5:40 now.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you having me part of your day. That's awesome.
It's fine. I didn't get the glam version of the cage girl people normally get.
There we go. No, I appreciate the time. I see on your Instagram, you looks like you're very good friends with Leah McCourt. Tell me about that friendship, how you guys became, close, and obviously hanging out and all that.
Yeah, me and Leah are very close. I mean, I literally just got off the phone to her before I went to bed last night. We've actually created like a really special relationship, both obviously inside the fight world and outside. But yeah, I think it just kind of started from being within the European series together. Obviously, like I say, you see a lot behind the scenes. It's not just fight night. And like I said, that's what kind of gets me excited, is being involved in behind the scenes on fight week, and kind of seeing the grueling regime everyone has to go through, and why they put themselves through such like a crazy time on the lead up to fight night. And I think that's just kind of how me and Leah met, through spending time with each other at different events. And then from there, I think we've been a little bit inseparable. But no, she's a great girl. Obviously, she's got a big fight coming up on the 31st of March, which I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, like I say, the organization and the promotion itself, I've met so many incredible characters and built so many amazing relationships with different fighters, obviously production, the teams behind the scenes. And yeah, it's really good, because you get a really good kind of behind the scenes outlook of what's going on, and all the good stuff,
You mentioned Leah's fight coming up against Kat Zingano. Just how excited are you for her? Because that's a huge opportunity, fighting a former title challenger.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really big fight for Leah, and I think she'll agree as well. But yeah, I'm so excited. Hopefully I will. Obviously, I'm not going to make it, unfortunately, for this weekend, which is also a really big event. But I hope to be out there supporting her on the 31st, to watch that match, because I think it is something really exciting. And obviously to feature as a main event as well is just incredible for Leah. And she's come really, really far in her career, and I wish her all the best.
Now, the time of recording this, technically we're still in January, so I think this question applies. A lot of people make their goals at the beginning of the year, and things that they want to achieve. What are some goals in your career that you have sort of marked? Because I'm sure every year you kind of go back and look at where you want to be headed throughout the rest of the year. What are some goals you have?
I think I started this year with a very kind of open outlook, and my main goal is just to be happy, and obviously for the people around me to feel the same way. But obviously career wise, I would like to get over to the States. That would be amazing. Spend a bit of time, be able to work over there would be incredible. And yeah, just continue within Bellator. Obviously I'd love to go into a little bit more depth as kind of get involved with the fighters a little bit more. Maybe a little bit of journalism would be fun. So it's definitely something I'll look into this year. Obviously with being so passionate about the sport. But yeah, I'm just going to see where the year takes me and hope for the best.
And just my last question, I know you got to get your day started. We mentioned a lot about traveling. Is there some place that you have not traveled to that is on your bucket list, somewhere you'd love to go travel, whether it's, to go train or to just, see? Is there anywhere that comes to mind when I bring up that question?
Yeah, this is a tough one, and I'm going to get on to Bellator about this because one place did pop to mind, and it's definitely Hawaii.
Okay.
To be honest, I've explored a lot of my bucket list places already, and I've been very, very lucky and grateful to have that experience and opportunity. But yeah, Hawaii's definitely on the list, and I'd love to do more of Asia as well.
You ever been to Canada?
No, I've not actually.
You got
I've
to put
not.
that on the list too. I'm Canadian. I got to be a little biased here, but you got to head out here. We got some nice areas. Danny, who's on this call, knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's terrible. I should have said Canada. I should have read my cards better. But I actually have a friend who moved over last year, and it was never really somewhere I looked into going until she moved, and it does look very, very beautiful. So it's definitely a place I would like to visit at some point.
In the meantime, we can watch you doing your thing for Bellator. Louise, thank you so much for doing this. If there's anyone you'd like to mention before we get out of here, any social media you want to plug, any sponsors, anything like that, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to all the Bellator family. They've been incredible over the last few years. Within my role and kind of outside as well. And also Monster Energy, who I work for as well. They're all amazing. Socials, I can be found simply under Louise McKie, and I'll catch you all over there and keep you updated on what's going on in my day-to-day life.